Woo! Hi everybody. Happy Friday again. I feel like I've said that so many times now. But it is Friday, the 7th of August, 2020. Hope you're having a great weekend so far. Um, I am here with my crazy hair to finish the book On the Path to Enlightenment by Michiro Card. Lots of quotes from Buddhist monks. You can jump in at this final chapter. It doesn't matter. We've reached the end. Is anyone enlightened yet? I'm excited to read this last chapter. It's very short. I was going to do a compassion meditation at the end, as I've done a little bit more research about how to do it, sort of the methodology and stuff. But I think I'm going to do a separate video so that people that just want to listen to a book can just listen to a book. Again, this is a nighttime edition. Living that lockdown life, just staying in on a Friday. I've had quite a few weekends of being out and about, so it's quite nice to just be here chilling. I guess lockdown gets you a bit more used to the odd Friday night alone. Anyway, let's do it. Let's finish it. We've had some really long chapters, really big ones. The last one was really long, and I really recommend if you're tempted to buy the book, do, because I missed out loads of poetry in chapter 15 and chapter 14, I believe. So there you go. But we're on to the last chapter. Chapter 16 is called Overcoming Inner Demons. I'd like to do that. Anybody else got some inner demons? I mean, we've all got inner demons, right? In some way, even if we are very healed, or at least we think we are. There's stuff, isn't there, from the past, from childhood, adult life. I guess for me, demons just means stuff that we haven't fully let go of yet. It doesn't mean that we're really damaged and we've got demons. That makes it sound it almost gives it a judgment. But I think most of us probably have something from the past that we'd like to let go of. So let's see what the Buddhists say about overcoming inner demons. When, in the early 4th century BCE, Shakyamuni Buddha meditated under the spreading branches of the Bodhi tree at the site of the present town of Bodh Gaya, he suffered in the months before his enlightenment the violent assaults of 4 maras, or demons. The demons that Buddhist practitioners are warned about are not ghosts or external evil spirits, but inner forces caused by our erroneous perception of the world that are powerful enough to cause serious obstacles to our practice. The texts mention 4 demons: the demon of the aggregates, the physical and mental legacy of karma that temporarily constitutes our person and forms the support of suffering, the demon of the self, the demon of death, and the demon of afflictive emotions. When these 4 demons launched their final assault on the Buddha and manifested in various apparently external forms, the Buddha, through his understanding of the ultimate nature of phenomena and his boundless compassion, remained unruffled and attained enlightenment. The demon of negative emotions generally becomes apparent to us that when it reaches a certain intensity, our anger explodes, jealousy eats away at us, or ignorance blinds us. But in reality, it is an old enemy that we have unconsciously befriended and learned to foster. It can even appear to be virtuous, reasonable, and logical, as in the case of hatred based on sectarian arguments. When we start to progress on the spiritual path and profound changes take place in us, those demon obstacles manifest with greater force. As a teacher quipped, the demons do not bother with those who neglect their practice. In any kind of business, great profit is accompanied by great risk, so it is unsurprising that in our inner journey, we will come up against all kinds of forces that oppose our progress. Properly managed, these obstacles can be catalysts of realization, but they can also interrupt our practice or make us deviate from our goal. Only the lucidity of wisdom, impartial altruism, trust in an authentic spiritual master, and the unwavering intention to attain enlightenment can overcome these obstacles, whether they be subtle or gross. Ooh, this is a new person, I think. This is from Machik Lapdron. The source of the demon is our own mind. When the mind apprehends phenomena and fixates on them, it becomes the demon's prey. When mind takes itself as an object, it is spoiled. And another one, I think, new. Lean back. This is Jatshon Nyingpo, advice given by Padmasambhava to Nyangben Tingzin Sangpo. If those who practice the Dharma are as numerous as the stars in the sky, those among them who are free from the obstacles of demons are fewer than the sun and the moon. Were it not for these obstacles, it would be easier to accomplish realization than it is to accumulate virtuous actions for 1 year. That is why these demons must be identified and outwitted. At first, while you are imprisoned in the samsaric city of suffering, you may have some faith in the Dharma. This is soon carried away by the demon of laziness and by clinging to gross realities. By harbouring hatred toward enemies, attachment to dear ones, maintaining an attitude of competitiveness, and being distracted by worldly affairs, you fail to keep death in mind, and, caught up in all kinds of other activities, you always postpone Dharma. That itself is the demon. In order to drive it away, search for a qualified guru, who is the root of unalterable faith, and reflect on death and impermanence, which is the root of unalterable diligence. Leaving lesser tasks behind, give yourself up to the great task of Dharma. Then will come the demon of changing your mind. It may take the shape of intimates, family, or friends who will say, don't practice the Dharma, and will create obstacles in all kinds of ways. At other times, it may manifest as fear of enemies, or as competitiveness, or as wealth. In this way, Dharma will always be postponed until tomorrow and the day after. A life filled with delusion soon runs out, and finally you will be plunged into the mire of samsara. In order to subdue this demon, trust only in the teacher and supreme objects of refuge. Decide for yourself and do not ask ordinary people's advice. When you stay with your teacher, the demon of doubting him and considering him as an equal will arise. The signs of its presence are that you become blind to the teacher's qualities while noticing the slightest defect. You develop adverse views toward his actions and doubt whether they are endowed with wisdom, and you devote yourself to using religion to acquire wealth and food. Having set out on a spiritual journey, you will end up in hell. This is really a demon. In order to thwart it, perceive the teacher as the Buddha. Then will come the demon of reverting to worldly desires. The signs of its arrival are that, thinking about sex, money, and business, with dishonest dealings and greed, you give up religious robes, spiritual friends and brothers, and the practice of Dharma. Losing interest in listening to the Dharma, you pursue the attachments and hatreds of the world. You thirst for women and wine. You turn your back on the Buddha's teaching. In order to subdue this demon, develop unwavering determination to follow the supreme Dharma. Whichever profound teachings inspire you, persevere in them earnestly. Keep far away from temptations, and avoid actions contrary to the Dharma, thinking of the lives of previous saints. This is important. Taking a casual view of the teachings is the demon that appears next. The signs of its presence are that you conceitedly say that you have received this teaching and that teaching, when you haven't grasped the meaning and all of its theory. Knowing 1 or 2 sentences, you broadcast the secret instructions in the marketplace. Whatever deep teachings are being given, you say, I've already heard that. Certainty and understanding will never arise from this attitude. Such a failure to reach the ultimate point of the Dharma is the demon in person. In order to overcome it, reflect again and again upon the teachings that you have received and immerse yourself in their meaning. At this time, the demon of your qualities giving birth to covetousness appears in the guise of patrons and disciples. Not devoting yourself to practice, convinced that you are very learned, you become infatuated with yourself and ambitious for wealth. This will create obstacles, leading you away from the path of Dharma. In order to subdue this demon, vow to remain in mountain solitudes for a long time and discard all activities other than the Dharma. The next demon to approach is that of metaphysical views. You discriminate in a partisan way between your own point of view and that of others, and the Dharma turns into the 5 poisons. In order to prevent this, abandon all doctrinal rivalry and train yourself to see the purity of everything without bias. When, having disentangled yourself from that, you are meditating on voidness, there will arise the demon of emptiness itself as the enemy. Everything is non-existent, you will say, while inverting sin and virtue in your actions. You will have neither faith in the 3 jewels nor compassion for sentient beings. When this happens, cultivate virtue and purify sins. With fervent devotion, train your mind to see all phenomena as pure and to understand dependent origination and the inseparability of emptiness and compassion. Then there is the demon of compassion arising as an enemy. Without being liberated yourself, you will be impatient to work for the good of others while postponing your own practice. When this happens, develop your aspiration bodhicitta and let the application bodhicitta wait for a while. It is said that until you reach Buddhahood, the obstacles of the demons will follow endlessly one after another, but if, abandoning all distractions, you give yourself entirely to the practice of the path, no obstacles of any kind will ever find a way in to disturb you. End of chapter 16. The end. There's an appendix, but it's history stuff, and I don't really care to read it. So there you are. It was a short chapter, but a lot to think about. There was a line in there that really got me. Oh yeah, the nihilism. I mean, I'm not saying that I've sort of been practicing the Dharma and I'm sort of at that point, but it definitely resonates, that thing of because at the start of the book there was a lot on everything not being real and everything being Maya, being an illusion and everything, and now they're mentioning a demon can come where you just think, oh, nothing is real, it doesn't matter, and it does. So that was a good little pointer for me. I tend to slip into my spirituality, sometimes can slip into nihilism, and it's not a fun feeling. I don't know if anyone else experiences that, when you are very aware of spirit and the things that aren't matter, then it can feel a bit pointless, but that's why we practice compassion, I suppose, because it reconnects us with everyone else, even if we're feeling a bit empty or identifying with the emptiness of everything. It's very complicated, isn't it? But I have found the book to be very relaxing, even if sometimes it's a bit disconcerting thinking about the void and the transience of everything. I think sometimes it's a good thing to be reminded of it when all the chaos is going on in the world. Ongoing corona sort of, it's gone back to a low level anxiety for me. Now we're in August of, okay, I can enjoy the summer, but how long is everything going to be weird for? Because it is still weird, and worries about winter, and for everyone just money, and seeing loved ones as well. Like, I'll disconnect from our families. I haven't seen some of my family for a long time now, so yeah, I'm sure you've all got your own stuff going on with all aspects of that, and I just wish you all well, I guess. Like I said, I was going to do a meditation at the end, but I'm going to do a separate one for compassion. And as this is the end of the book, I think I'm still going to do books, but I'm also on this channel going to do like meditations and other bits. People have asked me to do videos about who I am, which might be a good thing to do. And like what I do as well, like about some of the work that they know that I do, which is not like this. It's slightly different stuff. So I think I'll do that. Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave it there for now. I hope you are all well. And if you're not well right now, I hope you're okay. And I hope you get better soon. All right. Peace.